Hey guys, welcome back. So today I have a very exciting video to share with you guys as I'm going to be doing a chiropractic reaction video from the perspective of a chiropractic student. I thought this would be a really interesting video to do, whether you're studying chiropractic or you're just part of the lady group who likes watching chiropractic videos on YouTube. Nonetheless, I thought this would be a good video just to give you guys some of the background information from someone who is in the chiropractic bubble, to share with you guys some of the stuff that's going on behind the scenes that you might not be aware of, so that we can just appreciate the videos even more, and it only highlights the power of chiropractic. And so today's video is going to be a special one, as this video completely changed my course of my career, really. As some background information with that, whenever I was an undergrad, I was considering making the switch from pre-med to pre-chiropractic, and whenever I was doing some research online, I had stumbled across this video and it completely sealed the deal for me. I was hooked on chiropractic from this point forward, and I had told myself after watching the video, I literally broke in tears the first time I watched it, and I had said that if I can be just half the chiropractor that Dr. Ian is, then it will make me the happiest man ever. And so fast forward about 3.5 years now at this point, not only am I studying to become a chiropractor, but I'm also studying the same specialty that Dr. Ian implements in his practice, which is Gonstead Chiropractic. And so it's just really inspirational, and this video means a lot to me. So I'm really excited to be able to revisit this video. It's been a really long time since I've seen it, so I'll be excited to start this video and share it with you guys. Some background information with this case. It's a young male that's coming in. He's in high school, and it looked like he had tweaked his low back recently, but it could have been a prior injury, we don't know at this point. But it had created this really rounding of his upper back called a hyperkyphosis. So essentially his mid-back, his thoracic spine, had slumped forward very drastically, as you guys are gonna see, created a lot of postural alteration. He's unable to walk, he's having numbness in his legs, can't eat, can't sleep, and so his quality of life is severely diminished, to the point where he traveled from the US all the way to Australia to receive care from the great Dr. Ian. So let's go ahead and get started and see what happens. There he is. Yep, so there you guys can see just a slumping of his posture. This slump here is his thoracic spine, severely rocked forward, as you can see, head rocked forward, completely not normal posture, as you guys can tell. So this will be what we would call an extreme hyperkyphosis. And look at that. Every practitioner turned him away because they were too scared to touch him. This is last hope. And there you can see the rounding of the spine, a little bit of curvature as well.
I don't want to be alive, I want to die. I want to die. Because, you know, pain is so much. And he can walk, he can move. 2 days, 3 days, he ate one time.
Like he would sleep for 2 or 3 days.
Yeah.
I want to die. Just incredible. Can't eat, can't sleep. And so I want to pause here actually. So here we go. This is the young guy. He's walking in. He is now walking into the practice, and in the Gonstead work, we believe that the analysis starts whenever the patient walks into the clinic. Everything from how they're walking, their posture, how they're presenting themselves. And if we look here, it's very subtle, but catch this. You see Dr. Ian, this is him here. He is helping to stabilize our young man here as he's having trouble walking, but he's doing more than that. Look at his eyes here. He's looking down at the base of his spine, around the area of the pelvis, and you can tell his hand placement. He's actually has his hands on the SI joints, which are the joints that move the pelvis. And I already know what he's doing. He's checking the motion of the pelvis as he's already walking into the door. So he's already getting information before he's even started his exam. Just incredible doc already. And if we can tell just off this presentation, you can see his right hip is higher than his left side. And it looks like whenever he walks, he's starting to favor that left side, which is indicating to us that there's something going on here on this right side. We don't know if it's a pelvis issue, hip issue, something in the lower back, but it's just giving us indicators about what's going on right off the bat before we even get into it. As you can see, he's favoring that left side. Can you guys glimpse that? But obviously having trouble walking, can't even stand upright. And here he is taking some specific chiropractic x-rays. In the Gonstead work, we take full spine films. not just so we can rule out anything more serious, you know, obviously in a case like this that will be important to do, but also so that way we can do a specific analysis to measure the exact degrees and measurements of misalignment, so that way whenever we deliver the correct adjustment, we can specify it and make it unique to whatever we need to do to correct that specific degree of misalignment. So that way, and really in this work, not every adjustment is the same, because there's always going to be a certain degree of misalignment or rotation that the adjustment might need just some subtle alteration just to get that perfect set. And this level of specificity in the system, that's why I love it, and because it's just a little tiny tweaks that we can make that's going to get the best results. And x-rays help us with that. Oh no, we got an ad. All right, so we're back. So here he's just doing some soft tissue palpation, motioning, just kind of feeling for edema, tight musculature, things of that nature. You can already tell he's zeroing in on that right side, so we were right there. And he's really, as you can see, he's doing something called recreating the pain. Something that's very useful for any doctor to do, that if you think you know where the area that's causing the pain, you can do maybe a slight motion or slight kind of dig into the area just to recreate and exaggerate the pain. That way you can confirm that that's the area that's involved, and you can understand the structures and the level of issue that we're dealing with.
These little circles here are
now we're back to the x-rays,
shape, which suggests that this joint up here, the sacroiliac joint, is not functioning properly. But these measurements are also quite a long way out, which suggests the sacrum's got some rotation. Just shut your eyes.
All right, let's go back to that really quick. So back to the x-rays here. Again, this is the x-ray analysis. You can see the specificity that we use. So he was talking about these little holes down here. That's the obturator foramen, which is what we use to kind of determine the degree of rotation in the pelvis. Dr. Ian went ahead and measured the sacrum measurements as well. As you can see, it's almost a centimeter rotated on that right side, which is quite a bit, actually a lot of rotation there. And I also want to highlight, so far, whenever I'm analyzing this, I'm looking at the L5 just off the presentation, and you see he marked L5 as well, with the exact degree of misalignment there.
These measurements are also quite a long way out, which suggests the sacrum's got some rotation. Just shut your eyes and tell me when you can feel this.
Okay. So now what he's doing a neurological exam. It looks like he's using some kind of needle or maybe a reflex hammer, hard to tell, but he's testing to see the sensory function of his nervous system. And so what's really interesting in chiropractic is, or in anything for that matter, but with the nerves that exit out of the spine, they follow like motor highways that go all the way from the spine, they reach out to all of our limbs. And so what you can do is, you know, if there's irritation to a specific nerve, you can trace, say if there's numbness or tingling to that nerve, you can trace based on where that numbness or tingling or pain is going to in the extremities, and you can trace that back to the exact nerve involved and trace it all the way back to the level of the spinal segment and the disc that's involved with that. So if we're looking, that's why the neurological exams are very useful, especially in this case where there's definitely some neurological issues going on. You can do the sensory exam. It looks like he's testing the L5 nerve root right now, which suggests it's the L5 nerve that's involved. And as that's the top, goes down to the top of the foot. Wow. Unbelievable.
You felt that? You didn't feel any of these ones? So you're not really feeling anything down this leg at all.
So it looks like here that he's having no sensory innervation whatsoever into his extremity, which is not a good sign. That shows that there's a lot of irritation to the nerve, to the point where he's essentially not having any nerve function whatsoever. This is definitely a serious issue. And now he's doing a muscle test to the muscle that's innervated by the L5 nerve. Ringing that L5 seems to be the culprit in this case. So now we're moving. Where are we going? Okay, so now, great visual there. He's definitely in a lot of pain, but now we're going over to the side posture table. It's looking like he's going for the L5. Now, typically to this point as well, if the patient is very acute and they have a lot of inflammation, as he very well may, they may have done some icing or potentially some pumping, some manual pumping to kind of reduce some of that inflammation out of the disc. We don't know if he's done it to this point, as they kind of cut a little bit there, but it looks like we're going right into the side posture position. Okay.
Do you think you could handle this?
And he very well may be doing some manual pumping here, but it looks like the patient's in pain. Now, if you're going even for the setup to pump the disc, which is something you would do before the adjustment, and they have pain, you want to stop immediately.
Correction, or would you like me to continue?
Continue. I will
Yeah. If you've changed your mind, we can stop.
not. No, it's alright.
That's a very, very small correction.
And that's, I gotta stop it here as well. His bedside manner is just outstanding. I mean, it's just phenomenal. Just phenomenal. I mean, so much with the doctor-patient relationship is how we communicate to them. And just the bedside manner, the care and gentleness that he has is just impeccable, and making sure he feels comfortable all the way through. He even said, hey, like, look, we don't have to proceed with this. Are you okay? Are you comfortable? Do you want me to continue? And he's down.
You might hear some noise or feel a little bit of movement.
Now he's explaining what he'll feel. Looks like he's going in for the adjustment.
Just relax.
Here we go.
Breathe slowly.
Breathe, 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 breathe.
It's alright.
Okay, so I know that looks like a lot, and it was. I mean, oh my gosh. I could go back and rewatch that adjustment in like slow-mo a million times just because his form is amazing. But it looked like it hurt a lot, but the reality is with this type of an adjustment on an acute patient like this, you really don't want to get a deep set. It's more about speed and just getting the segment to move, and just try to reset it as much as you possibly can. So I know it looked like it was a lot of force, but it really wasn't. It was more or less a lot of speed that he used there, and the pain is just because there's so much inflammation, so much irritation there. So that was a great, great set. And then later on, you may want to get a little bit more of that rotational component out, etc. But that was a good set. That was a really good set.
It'll be fine after a few minutes.
Let me hold this.
Stay relaxed.
All you gotta do is breathe.
Just breathe, buddy.
I actually think even if you are a little bit hunched over, you're going to be able to walk a bit easier. As you take weight on this, it'll be pretty difficult.
I love his accent too.
You haven't done it for a while.
You haven't done it for a while?
That's it.
Right.
Good. Just take a few steps first, because you need to push some fluid out of the joint.
And there he goes, first adjustment.
Better? Fantastic.
He said it's
Step
better.
yourself up and see if you can get your
Yes.
torso above your spine.
Try.
It'll take. That's it.
Okay.
That's okay.
Okay, so what's going on here again, I guess we were in the right ballpark earlier saying that this is more of a lower back issue that's creating this huge compensating effect in the thoracic spine, which may indicate another issue going on, but that's nonetheless what we're dealing with is definitely an acute low back issue with a lot of the hyperkyphosis. And so what Dr. Ian's trying to get him to do is to stretch back upright. Now all those ligaments and tendons are so tight and in a fixed position because he's had this at least for 3 months. We don't know what he was like earlier before this injury, but nonetheless, why he's slunched over for is because that disc is pushed so far back onto that nerve root that he has to slump forward to provide the most relief. And so by him trying to stand up, it's actually jamming that disc further into that nerve. But Dr. Ian, after that set, he's trying to get him to do as much as he possibly can and get that thing moving, try to reduce as much fluid out of the disc as possible.
And force it too hard. Those ligaments and tendons
He's a
have
tough
been
guy.
in the wrong spot
Put your hand up.
for a long time. Does that go down your leg when you do that?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good.
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, it's better right now.
That's good. Well, even though that's painful.
And I love the support from his dad,
Have you been
from
able
Dr.
to
Ian. That's
stand
really
that
important in
much
this scenario
for
to
the
have
last
good
few
family
months?
support with you.
That's the
That's the first time.
Yeah.
Well, that's great.
this load than it was before.
Feel stronger already?
Yeah.
That's a great sign. Alright, so shut your eyes again and tell me if you feel this.
I feel like not that much.
You felt that then?
Yeah, but not that much.
Well, before you felt nothing.
Yeah.
That's amazing, and this just shows the power of chiropractic right here. Now look, I know that every case isn't going to be as exaggerated as this, thank God, but however the process is still the same. You know, we have what happened here is we got stress on that bone, that misaligned, putting really a lot of irritation or damage on that disc that's inputting irritation onto the nerve. And so in his case scenario, we have so much irritation to that nerve that the nerve essentially isn't working at all, as we saw in the case before. And so it's a sign of a lot of irritation, but still what do? We adjusted the bone back to proper alignment, which allowed the disc to begin to heal and immediately reducing the inflammation, which is reducing that irritation to the nerve. And immediately, not even a few minutes after the adjustment, that nerve is already beginning to work. That's just amazing to me.
And that's only 10 minutes. Yes. So
10 minutes.
That's amazing, really. You know, this gives me the confidence that we can continue safely. And lift this toe up. Try and get. You can actually resist my thumb.
Look at that, and now the muscles are working. The nerves are working, baby.
How long have we got?
My graduation is in June 17th.
You're putting it on me. I will do my best.
Thank you.
You had no control over those before.
Yeah.
It's fantastic.
Day 2.
You slept well for the first one? Yeah, fantastic.
Amazing. You slept well. Amazing.
You've watched.
That's huge. There's Dr. Gonstadt's face on the wall.
Yeah, good.
There's Dr. Alex Cox.
Still think there's a
And look at him, he's walking, he's smiling. Ah, there we go. So now we got the Nervoscope. I was waiting for him to pull this out. So in the Gonstadt work, we use the Nervoscope, which essentially is measuring abnormal temperature responses on the area of the spine. And so whenever there's an injury to the disc, inflammation is a byproduct of that, as we just saw, right? And so with inflammation, it releases heat. And so what this instrument does is it measures little subtle changes in heat at the area of where the spinal nerve exits out of the vertebrae, which is suggestive of inflammation at that level. So that's what this tool measures. Very effective and a must in the Gonstadt work for sure.
You can see this needle, it just jumps right at that point.
And he's having some upper cervical issues, it looks like. Which already this just amazes me how, you know, you think that his primary complaint is the low back, right? But why is he working with the upper cervical region now, whenever the low back is the issue? Well, the objective isn't to fix the pain, the objective is to find out where there's nerve pressure in the spine and correct that, because if we can correct the area of nerve pressure, we're gonna have a healthier spine, proper functioning nervous system, and that's what's gonna allow his body to heal.
You can see even in this position that this side of his occiput is very high compared to that one. And if we go...
Yep, so you guys can see that there, that his right ear, the tip of that is higher than his left ear. That's what he's talking about at the base of the occiput there, which will be suggestive of inflammation in the joint capsule between the occiput and the atlas bone. And that's what's creating this higher on that left side, that there may be inflammation there at that level.
If we go back to this film, you can see
and
how
the X-rays
is
confirming
open
that.
on that side and more closed on that side. When I get it in the right place.
Now we're adjusting.
So much better for you.
Atlas. Amazing.
That was perfect. That'll be like a tidal wave coming off.
Yeah.
Feeling it very hot.
Now the atlas bone, and why he's saying it's a tidal wave adjustment is because you got to think the brainstem sits on top of the atlas bone, and you have all of the nerve fibers in your entire body are running through that one single bone. So you can imagine if we have inflammation, irritation in that area, we can really compress so much of our neurological structures in our body. So the adjustment, it is a very powerful one.
Already. You feeling good?
Feels better.
It's a bit overwhelming.
Amazing.
To have a big adjustment like that, but when I say big, we're not moving it a long way as such, but just having that much pressure taken off the nervous system. Her head was here yesterday.
Yeah. Look at him, he's laughing, smiling, I love it. And what he said about the correction with the adjustment, it's not about we're really moving the bone a significant amount. I mean, if anything, we're moving it only a few small millimeters, but the ultimate goal though is to restore the alignment and function of the joint, which is gonna allow the inflammation to move out, which will reduce the irritation to the nerves at that level.
Looking good, mate.
Day 4.
Before, if you want to move, you have to help him
Pick the leg up.
you know,
Yeah.
with hand. Right now, he can't move, he can't walk easy.
Amazing.
Now he's walking.
Look at him skirting along.
Toe.
And that right there, that little white pack, that is just an ice pack on his back to help reduce some additional inflammation
He's
out.
taking long strides. He's actually getting his feet under his body.
Amazing.
Every time you feel it, just say now.
That's amazing. That's so amazing.
I feel a lot of defense.
Great.
Incredible. 4
When
days.
you like pushed it in, I felt like my spine stretched out. I used to like just to lift it that much.
Look at that. He's smiling, he's laughing, he's moving better, his nerves are starting to fire. His life is changing. He knows it, and he knows it. Day 7, coming on a week. Oh, right. Oh, hold on. We got to go back and replay that because I paused it. Amazing. That was a good adjustment. And right there, that's the face right there when you know you just delivered one hell of an adjustment. It looked like he had his assistant kind of stabilizing his spine just to help protect it. It looks like we were working on that right SI joint, which Dr. Ian had mentioned before would likely need some work done. It looked like the L5 is still cleared out, which amazes me. This has been 1 week and he only had one adjustment to the L5 nerve, which was the primary culprit. All it took was one adjustment. That's absolutely incredible. And now he's just fixing everything else up, which is only going to allow his body to heal even faster. And that's the adjustment right there. He knows
Best
it.
thing that ever happened to you, man.
So he's straight right now. One.
I'm actually really excited to see what happens here.
Amazing.
It's gonna last right here.
So he's going to go from here to here, back up to here again.
There's BJ Palmer in the back.
Down here.
8 or 9 times.
Amazing.
8 or 9 times in emergency.
Yeah.
Wow.
3 months, he just stay in the bed, you know, and he take pain medication.
I seriously didn't want to like even live anymore because my back, I can't even walk anywhere, like in the stores or anything. Like it's so embarrassing.
Yeah.
But after now, it's like I'm so happy.
Day 10. And guys, this is why it's so much more than just pain. I mean, you only imagine what the alternative would have been had he have not ended up there at Dr. Ian's office. I think about that all the time. I think about the people who weren't as fortunate to find a doctor like him or find a chiropractor like him, or perhaps you never know what the alternative is. Or you do know what the alternative is, but the outcome.
Now he just looks like he plays too much Xbox.
And now look at him. Look how much he's standing upright. And what he's trying to do here, I love it how it's amazing. He's really just delivering the adjustments, which is naturally getting a lot of that correction out with his posture. But you can see he's doing some additional just manual stretching, trying to pull his body upright. I love how he does it, just to try to get those ligaments stretched and remodeled to really correct his posture here, as I'm sure a lot of that is just so tight over months of dealing with this. But he's taking it well.
Take some steps. That's what I want it to feel like when you walk. Try and do that to yourself. Stand and look at your dad.
There's some more stretching.
Look what I found.
Wow, man. That's so
Amazing.
Taller than
Amazing.
You are taller now. You've done it. High five. Just breathe into this space that you've created.
Some more stretching. Get that stretched back.
I don't believe it.
It's a big moment. Your family's been through a lot, haven't they? It's hard as a dad because you just think you've lost your son, you've lost your kid.
Alright, Dad.
Give him a hug, mate, he needs it. You know, it's funny.
Amazing.
When I
Final
first
point.
palpated Will's neck, his butt was there and his back was here and his head was over here. It looked
Nothing
like
but chiropractic
he was
adjustments.
going to be stuck with that forever. Robbie, this is more.
Oh, mate, actually same his height.
Yeah, nearly.
Yeah.
Get taller, yeah.
Amazing.
That's what you got to do, right there.
I want to be a chiropractor.
Oh, yes.
Yes.
I'm going to do some adjustments here.
Amazing. This is what chiropractic is all about, guys.
The gym. Yeah.
Transforming your health, but it transforms your life. Your body, mind, spirit, everything about you changes. Absolutely incredible. Look at that, man. That's super amazing. And there you go, guys. Healing is not just the removal of symptoms, it is a return of life and the living of it. Dr. Ian, thank you so much. Thank you for watching. And if you liked the video, make sure you give it a like. I hope you got something out of it. And comment down below what other chiropractic videos you would like to see me do a reaction video of. I look forward to making more of these. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next one. Take care.